May your day be full of StaZrs, illustrious Ratadat, and Stellarable follower. I'm sitting in this window not without a reason. Everyone who opened a blender first time probably felt a little bit overwhelmed by the interface that they saw. A lot of people closed the blender after that and decided that 3D is not for them. We are not one of those. We will not be defeated. If the blender is a house, then editors are apartments with people living inside. Imagine that each person who is living in the apartment is doing their own work. Some of them are artists who like draw and sculpt, some of them are smart nerds who can write code, and so on. It's a nice community, if you can fit in. Blender, for any means, is not a regular house. It's a house with a purpose. Just imagine if a bunch of people with different skill would decide to live in the one house, like a commune. What would happen? They would create amazing out of this world things. And that's right, with Blender you can do those. When you move in, you just need to know who your neighbors are and how you can all work together. Well, most of the times. Each window that you see in Blender is an editor where you can be doing different type of things depending on what you need to do this particular time. For example, first you need to draw something, then sculpt it, add effects, animate, render, and so on. Editors all divided in different type of categories that depend on their functionality. Some neighbors are closer friends than others because they share similar interests. Each editor has different modes, which is, if we continue our analogy with the house, those are neighbors that prefer to share one apartment. By the way, editors in Blender, unlike your computer windows, made not to overlap. They use tiling structure, mosaic or puzzle. Imagine one of those. How an editor looks depends solely on what it does. Its functionality. Nerds look like nerds, artists look like artists. It's that simple. Each editor has menus, but not all the editors have the same menus. It also depends on what they do. The best way to explain this is that menu availability also depends on functionality of the editor. Different people in your house have different tools because they do different things. And that's why in the apartment of coding there are no paint and brushes. There can be as many editors as you want. Each new window, new editor. Though they don't disappear if you close them. Hey, but what happens to the people who live in there? Do they vanish forever when you close them? And all the progress have disappeared as well? They're still there, always available, with all the information inside, just waiting when you need them. Oh, thanks God, I was already freaking out. Editors can be resized too. From time to time, everyone needs a little bit more room to do something. So, we can make a little reconstruction inside the main house, without any harm to your neighbors. Hotkeys and editors. Only some hotkeys work in multiple editors. Usually, hotkeys from one editor do not work with another editor. Each editor has different type of hotkeys. Some of the hotkeys you can see at the bottom of the editor or in the menu. Your cursor must be in the editor window for the hotkeys to work. And this was a little overview of the editors. I hope you guys enjoyed because I've spent a lot of time on the green screen over there. I've changed probably 500 times back and forth. So let me know if you like this type of concept. I hope not, because otherwise I would have to get some more accessories to be changing too many times. I'm gonna be trying different formats just because I just started the channel and I feel I can experiment a little bit. So yeah, let me know what you think of this video, if you like it or not. And of course, remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I do have 2 requests for tutorials. One is to make an alien light in low poly, and the second one is to show the basic Blender interface on a simple object, and which would be like suitable more for game developing. I'll be doing those as soon as possible. Though a quick note, in a lot of tutorials that I found out there, though they're really great, for a beginner it's a little bit hard to follow because those guys are so advanced that they forget to explain some things. You're basically following every step, and then something is just not working, and you realize that they have some option enabled that you don't have enabled, and that's why nothing is working. So sometimes I would spend like hours and hours, and that would be like really frustrating. That's why recording these tutorials, I want to make sure that something like this doesn't happen, and even if you have no knowledge about Blender, you will be able to follow those tutorials pretty much easy. So that was it. Thank you. Big thank you to all of you who is following my journey and sharing your journey on this channel. As we say in StaZr universe, we are a small erudite who is sharing the common goal of learning history. And our erudite will be united until we all die.